Oh hey, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe. That's right, today, just Joe, not Joe the Blue Wizard. For today's video, we're gonna have no tricks, no magic, no lightning, just me. A high school biology teacher from the Chicagoland area in the United States of America. That's right, kids, I do not do YouTube for a living. I do have another part to my life. I am a high school biology teacher, and I do YouTube on the side for fun. So the reason that I wanted to make this video as just me and not the Blue Wizard is that I wanted to tell you a little bit more about myself, and I wanted to make a little bit of an announcement at the end of this video about some changes that are going to be happening to my channel. So the first thing that I wanted to address is to answer the question, are there any differences between me, just Joe, and Joe the Blue Wizard? One of them is odd, and it's something that a friend of mine brought up, is that apparently me and Joe the Blue Wizard have two different voices. A friend of mine was watching my videos and said that I always sound different when I'm Joe the Blue Wizard versus when I'm just Joe. So I don't know if that's true, but there it is. Another difference is obviously in what we do on the daily. So Joe the Blue Wizard makes videos and bakes and cooks all the time, and just Joe is, like I said, a high school biology teacher and has a full life and everything else besides. Those are really kind of tiny differences, and our personalities are exactly the same, obviously. But the major difference between myself and Joe the Blue Wizard is, of course, that Joe the Blue Wizard can do magic. I cannot do magic in real life. Or can I? But no, seriously, I can't do magic in real life. Another bit of information that I wanted to share about myself is to answer the question, why did I even start doing YouTube videos in the first place? So here's the story. I started cooking back when I was 12 years old, and according to my mother, I have been baking since I was 2 years old. I was making Christmas cookies with her when I was 2, and I have still been making Christmas cookies with her even now when I am 30 years old. So anyway, food has basically been a big part of my life for my entire life, and it's always been a hobby for me and something that I've truly enjoyed doing. I've loved making food for other people, making food for myself. It's something that I really have a passion about, and it's probably the one thing besides biology that I know the same amount about, okay? Because I've been doing work with food for, like I said, my entire life. One of the things that I felt though about my hobby was that it wasn't something that I did enough with. I knew so much, and I had been baking and cooking for so long, but yet I felt like I wasn't really doing it enough. And so I needed something that I could do with my hobby on a regular basis, that I could, basically consistently develop recipes and make new things and have a reason for doing it. And someone had suggested to me that maybe I should start a YouTube channel, and so that's where we are, doing YouTube. Like I said, it's something for me to take my hobby and make it more of a consistent part of my life. Now, some people had asked me when I started YouTube whether or not I wanted ever to leave teaching as a result of YouTube, whether this was my way out. And no, the answer to that question is no. This was never supposed to be a way out for me. It's not something that I'm looking to replace teaching with. I love teaching, I love biology. It's what I went to school for, it's what I'm trained for, it's what I spend the majority of my life doing, and so it's not something that I'm going to be leaving anytime soon. So talking about the reason why I started a YouTube channel and the fact that it is a hobby for me actually brings me into the announcement that I have to make, which is that I'm going to actually be taking a step back from YouTube. Now the reason why this is happening really is just one thing, and that is time. That is something that a lot of you guys, when you're watching these videos, don't see, is the amount of time that it takes to put a video like this together. And I know that because when I used to watch YouTubers, which I do still on the regular all the time, you don't really think about the amount of time that it takes to put a video together. Just to give you an example, the last video that I posted on my channel was for the no-bake pumpkin pie, and that is a 15-minute video, and it took me a total of 16 hours to put together, which you really wouldn't think about because the recipe itself is really, really quick and easy. It literally only takes about 15 minutes to put that recipe together. But the filming of that recipe alone and just making the tutorial and putting it together, that took 5 hours of time. It actually took a little bit more than that, almost between 5 and 6 hours of time. And on top of that, for that particular video, I actually had help. My cousin Steve was over helping me to film that recipe, and it actually made the process faster than it normally takes. So just the filming portion alone can take a really long time. And then when you add editing on top of that, it takes up a lot of time. So the time crunch is really the only reason why I'm taking a step back from YouTube. Because like I said, time is a big factor in my life, because this is not just my full-time job. I have other things to do as well, plus a family and friends and everything like that I like to spend time with, and that's really important to me. So 16 hours is a big time ask from my schedule to make a video. I mean, if you think about it, can you imagine how many cupcakes or cookies I could make in 16 hours, or scones even? Scones. You know, I could use a scone right now. Oh right, I'm not doing that today. Sorry, got scones on the brain. I'll save this for later. Sorry. So anyway, the time crunch got to be a bit of an issue, and making the YouTube videos on a regular basis, I always was posting on the 15th and the 30th of every month, and that got to be a little bit stressful for me, and I started feeling like YouTube was almost a second job rather than something I was doing for fun. And I sort of hit a wall with the second video that I was going to post in November, where I was sort of had everything together and I was kind of ready to go, and I just, was staring off into the distance and I couldn't do it. I was tired and I just did not have the time or the energy to get the video made. So it was then that I realized that I really should be taking a step back and making sure that YouTube wasn't becoming a job and that it really is still staying as my hobby. So I can see the comments pouring in already when I say that I'm going to be taking a step back from YouTube. I'm sure that people are asking, well, I'm glad you asked, let me tell you. Basically, the change that's going to be happening is that I am no longer going to be consistently putting YouTube videos up, which I know is like the very last thing that you do as a YouTuber. Like, it's rule number 1 in the How to Be a YouTuber handbook is you need to make sure that you are posting consistently. And I understand that that is exactly the opposite of what I'm going to be doing. But remember, I'm not looking to become like this huge famous YouTuber. I am looking to do this as a hobby and still to educate people and for people to have fun and enjoy themselves and stuff like that. But again, I want to keep this as a hobby and not become my full-time job. Unfortunately though, because I did not have sort of like planning in mind when it came to scheduling this out, there will not be a video in December, which I feel kind of bad about because I did have 2 videos planned for December. And I was kind of hoping to get at least one of them made for you guys, but then when I looked at my calendar, I said to myself, so in what alternate timeline is that going to happen in? So with the holidays and everything like that, there just purely is no time for me to film and edit a video for you guys in December. Don't worry though, I have a plan for future December so that you will still get holiday recipes out of me in the future. So, because I am not going to be consistently posting on YouTube anymore, if you want to see the videos that I'm going to be posting and you want to make sure that you know when I'm going to be posting them each and every time, it is now even more important that you guys hit the subscribe button and the little bell for notifications, because that'll notify you every time that I do post a new video on YouTube. Also, I am going to still be posting on the Blue Wizards social media, okay? So Instagram and Twitter, I will be actively posting on those. Those of you who have already started following me know that I post a lot more content on there than what you guys see on YouTube. I post when I'm doing meal prep, and I post like little recipes and stuff that I'm doing. If you ever want any recipes for any of those, by the way, you guys are free to ask and I'll share the recipes out with you. I have no problem with that. So once again, I hugely regret not making a December video, and I did have 2 videos planned and 2 ideas planned for December, and they were kind of important because they were sort of based on subscriber requests. I had one request from Eric, who is an awesome subscriber of mine and actually someone I know in real life. And he has been great and has actually been making a lot of my recipes and sharing those photos with me and stuff like that. So that has been really awesome. And he made a request for something that I had made for him at one point, which were chocolate candy cane cupcakes. And that was going to be one of the videos in December. And then the other one was going to be a request from a subscriber, Jimbo James, who had requested that I share some dips for all the holiday parties and stuff that are coming up. So, because those videos are not going to be made, I am actually going to put those recipes down in the description box below. So the recipe for the chocolate peppermint candy cane cupcakes is going to be in the description below, as well as the recipe for my, sorry for that sound by the way, that's my refrigerator. So also the recipe for 2 of my favorite party dips, which is going to be my buffalo chicken dip as well as a BLT dip. All right, so if you're interested in any of those recipes, they're in the description box below this video. So I just want to finish this video by saying a super, super huge thank you to everyone who has supported me in this journey. Truly, everyone from family to friends to people who I don't know. Believe me, it shocked the pants off of me when I realized that there are people watching these videos who I truly do not know, because honestly, I thought that the only subscribers and viewers that I was going to get were people who I know in my actual life. And so when people started asking me questions and subscribing to my Instagram and stuff like that, who I had no clue who they were, that was like a huge thing for me. And I thank you guys so much for watching, truly. It really does make my heart, sing that I'm able to share my hobby with you guys. It really is amazing to me. So I want to thank you guys so much for your support, and thank you so much for subscribing and staying watching, and an even bigger thank you in advance for still keeping up with me, even though, like I said, I won't be posting consistently in the future. So I really, really appreciate any of you who do stick around and keep watching my videos as I post going forward in the future. So super, super huge thank you once again. Well, that's all that I do have time for here today, and I'm going to take my scone and go finish this. And remember guys, you don't have to be a professional chef or even a wizard in order to make magic in your kitchen.